are more costs involved in owning rental property than you might expect. Here in this clip from our live show, we break down all of the different expenses that you need to put in your calculations to determine if the property that you want to buy as a rental is going to actually cash flow. Check this out.
They'll make the rookie mistake of income minus expenses. That's your cash flow. I see that on all these wholesaler flyers. Like, you're going to cash flow $1,000 a month. Okay, this thing was built in 1910. Like, right. You think that's going to be my only expense? Always factor in your taxes and your insurance. Obviously, that's relatively fixed. If the property is in an HOA, plug that in. And then these two variables right here, your vacancy, your capital expenditures, and your repairs and maintenance, they're relatively subjective, right? The way we forecast these figures is really based on how much upfront renovation did I put into that property, right? If I did a full-blown gut job, chances are I won't have to make a big repair in probably 5 or 6 years, right? So how much rehab did I put into that property? Capital expenses, that's like your roof, your HVAC, and any other big ticket items that are on a house, right? So typically if it's a new house, I'll put 3% again of this gross income. If it's an older house, sometimes it could go to, I mean, if I was owning like properties built in 1900, like I'd probably put like a 10% right here. And then your repairs and maintenance. This is, again, I'll hit that in a second. Repairs and maintenance, same thing, 3% to 10%.
Got it.
And on this, repairs and maintenance, again, you know how I said nice homes, nice neighborhoods, good demographic, right?
Yep.
If you put a nice family in a nice neighborhood in a nice house, when they leave and you have to turn that unit, chances are you're not going to put too much back into that property. Right. But if you're in like a Detroit or a war zone or whatever, where somebody's cooking meth in your house and all of a sudden your roof's on fire, like you're probably going to be more than 10%.
Right.
So this is really demographic based, and your CapEx is really how much renovation up front did I put into that house?
Got it.
And then vacancy, literally same conversation as your repairs and maintenance.
Got it.
Like, is it a bad neighborhood? Like, does somebody going to leave in the middle of the night without telling you?
Right.
Or is it a great neighborhood where, hey, look, good school zones, right? Like, I'm going to stay there for as long as I can until my kids get out of school.
Got it. Love it. And see, this is what's really interesting because the regular population, there's 19 million real estate investors in the country, 19 million, okay? And people buy rental properties just like, oh, I want to buy a rental property. The cash flow makes sense, but they're not taking into consideration these things.
Yeah.
So it's absolutely critical that you learn how to find discounted properties. Because as you can see here, if there's not enough meat on the bone when you buy these properties, these things can turn on you very quickly. Remember, the pride is not in how many doors you own. It's about how much you are making and how much you're building your wealth. Right? That's what you're really looking at here. And you need to make sure Jared's like helping you watch all these tripwires so that you're not, doing the wrong calculations when you're looking at a potential property that you want to keep in your portfolio. Because that's the point, right? The point is to build wealth. The point is to have these properties and have these assets, doing the work for you so that it can replace your income at some point so that you can, have that freedom of schedule, have that, financial freedom.
Absolutely. And I can't stress the importance of how important these three variables are because so way back in the day when we're doing deals all over the nation, I would look at these properties and say, holy shit, like I could buy a property for X, I get this amount of income, like this thing is like a 20 cap.
Right.
I'm like, why not buy this?
Right.
It's because of these things right here, your vacancy, your CapEx, and your R&M.
This is huge. This is everything. This is like literally, this is helping you make the decisions. Because if you have it up to that 30% of your cash flow, of your income, that could really affect what happens and what's the likelihood of some major event happening that is going to totally wipe it out.
Exactly.
I know an incredible amount of investors that went with the turnkey rentals at like $60,000, $80,000 that now have lost everything because the properties have just been not well taken care of, or the repairs that were put into them were kind of like, not the best, right? They were just kind of cutting corners, and it really it destroyed them. And I don't want anybody on this channel to be destroyed.
Do not make that mistake. Do not make unless you're in that area and you really know how to operate those properties. Cool, go for it. But by no means, well, I'm not the one to say, but like I'm not going to be going out to, I don't know, like Memphis or some place where it really needs a hands-on approach and operate properties.
So I got a quick question just to clarify. So vacancy rate, capital expenditures, CapEx, and repairs and maintenance. That range is anywhere from 3 to 10% per line item based on whether it's a property in a good area, in good shape, or a property in a bad area, in bad shape.
New, old.
And then that carries over into, if you look at your income at $2,000, your OpEx, that's on the high end, that 30%, because it's 10 plus 10 plus 10.
Like it could be anywhere from 50 to 40%.
Got it, okay.
That could be your range.
Yep.
So again, that's why I spend a little bit more money on property. I'm okay with less cash flow because I'm okay with less like a price to rent ratio because I know I'm going to be in this 15% range. And and then I guess tying it all back into this equation, you next have your debt service, which is probably one of your more critical components. And I don't know. How do you want to touch on debt service?
No, just that's your payment. I mean, that's your payment.
And then anything after that is cash flow.
Right. Yeah, but you're taking that up to 30%.
Just super, because because I put taxes and insurance on this line, and this is just pure debt service.
Got it. Good.
If you like that video, hit that subscribe button. We come out with new videos every single day. And if you want your questions answered, like you and I, one-on-one, make sure that you join us for the live show every single Wednesday. I will see you there.